Hey, it's James, the unofficial mayor of Cowboy Country. Welcome to today's show. I'm so glad you could be here with us. Unfortunately, some of the other little guys haven't shown up yet. I did order one from Texas Tech. I ordered one for Willie the Wildcat, Kansas State. They haven't shown up yet. So hopefully they will be here soon and we can add to the collection. I haven't had a chance to go to the post office yet to set up a P.O. box. God willing, I'll do that later this week. Anyway, what I want to do today is talk about two different things. Number one, thank Larry Reese, the voice of the Cowboys. Oh, by the way, yeah. Oh, sorry. That was bad. Somebody mentioned I should have a orange drink with me whenever I do a video, so here's my Orange Crush. Larry Reese put out some pictures. If you don't follow Larry Reese, I think it's at Cowboy Voice. Oop, darn it. Anyway, I messed up the light when I put the. Anyway, if you don't follow Larry Reese on Twitter, he's a really good person to follow. I would encourage you to do that. But I'm gonna put up some old pictures here of not Calgary, Lewis Field, which once Oklahoma State remodeled it, became what is now Boone Pickens Stadium. And yes, when I moved to Stillwater in 1997 and then became a student in 1998, I was a non-traditional student, but I was still, I saw Rust-Oleum Stadium, the literal, almost, they reminded me of horse troughs. There was no separation. There was no separate urinals. It's just one big thing you peed in. And I just, for the life of me, hated that thing with a passion. I just wish they would put dividers up in the current bathrooms. I don't want to look at anybody else's private parts, and I don't want anybody looking at mine. So anyway, we'll put up some pictures of the ones that Larry Reese posted. I am thankful that he retweeted my response to those pictures. I remember going to the game. I don't remember. It was 2001, 2002. But Les Miles was still there. And we finally beat Nebraska for the first time in like 40 years. And it was raining, and I was kind of glad that it was raining because I was literally crying. I was so happy. I'd never stormed the field before, but I did. It's the only time I've ever done it. It was great because they had planned on replacing the goalposts anyway, and the students managed to get on them, and they broke, and they were carrying them around the field, and it was a great time. But part of what I've done on this channel is to show you other stadiums so that the Cowboy alum and faithful fans can actually see what other schools have. I mean, you can't just call it the greatest stadium in America and not understand that there are other really good stadiums out there as well. I haven't seen them in person, but I would say Louisville's looks really good. I would say Florida State, Doak Campbell, looks really good. I have to admit, OU did a really good job with their expansion recently. And Texas has looked pretty good, except for the side that doesn't face the highway. And even fans down there admit that that's the oldest part of their stadium, and it really needs some renovation. although they do use part of the Texas football stadium, there are actual classrooms in that part of the stadium. It's really neat. They actually use part of that building for academic purposes. So kudos to Texas for that. I thought that was pretty cool. I also think, and this is just before I get to my second topic, I know I'm rambling a little bit. Both OU and Texas have a space outside of the stadium for a war memorial to honor those, in OU's case, Sooners or Longhorns, who have graduated from their schools and then went on to serve in the military and ultimately die in combat. OU's war memorial goes all the way back to World War I. So I just thought that was a classy move, and I hope that one day Oklahoma State can do the same thing. I have to. I had this weird idea, and maybe other OSU fans might agree with me, but there was one spot on not Boone Pickens Stadium, but on Obrate Stadium. On it would be right field. It's the side that goes along. That's not Duck. I don't. I know. First base and left field goes along University. I don't remember the name of the other road, but I know the wall on the outside of where it'd be first base. There's this big open section, and I thought that would be a really cool place to put a war memorial. But that's just my opinion. What was the other thing I was going to talk about? Oh, yes, of course. It's very late, and I'm tired, and but I like being up late, so I'm a night owl. This weekend, I'm going to go to 2 games. It's kind of weird. I won a ticket to go see SMU Friday night, and then I'm going to go see Oklahoma State at TCU Saturday. I was going to just do the outside of SMU's stadium, but I'm actually going to go to their game Friday. And then next weekend, I'm actually going to go back again and watch SMU versus Cincinnati. The reason is because I wanted to see Cincinnati in person since they're joining the Big 12. So between this weekend and then the next weekend, I should get enough footage of SMU's football stadium. The reason that's important is because they're going to start construction after the season is over to bowl in one of their end zones and to build new football offices, and I think they're building a new weight room. But the pictures look really good. If I have pictures somewhere of what it's going to look like, I'll put that up right here. The reason I'm so focused on SMU is, number one, they're within driving distance of where I live. I'm here in the state of Texas. I'm in the Killeen area. Somewhere in the Killeen area. Not going to tell you exactly where, but somewhere in the Killeen area. Anyway, I believe that if the Big 12 is going to expand and we can't get Arizona, Arizona State, Colorado, and Utah, you have to look at the big picture. The states that are growing. Idaho's growing. Utah is growing. That's why they're important. If you get Arizona and Arizona State, you would get the Phoenix market. So that's important for TV. But the states that are really growing are Florida and Texas. And so what I would do if I was the Big 12 and I wanted to expand, I can't get the 4 corner schools. I would try to get somebody from the state of Texas and somebody from the state of Florida. The bigger of a footprint that the Big 12 has in the state of Texas, I think the more likely they're going to continue to succeed and be viable in college football. To be honest, when the Big Ten said they're going after UCLA and USC, I honestly think that's a bad move. And I'll tell you what, California is not growing. California is shrinking in population. Texas is going to be number one in population probably by 2040 or 2045. Because so many people are leaving California. They're going to either Idaho, Utah, Arizona. Some have come all the way into Texas. Texas has grown with so many people from California that they literally had to bring In-N-Out Burger to Texas. So, and I'm glad they did because it's good food. But I say all that to say that if you're going to bring in one school from Texas and one school from Florida, the one school from Texas that I would want the most would be SMU. I think they've got back on the right track. I think with this stadium upgrade, they're going to be a viable candidate. Plus, SMU and TCU are natural rivals. Dallas-Fort Worth area. SMU versus Baylor would be a good rivalry game. And of course, adding a Texas school would help Oklahoma State because every time you come down here for a game, it basically turns into a recruiting trip for some of the assistant coaches. And I'm a little bit biased because I live in Texas now, and the more times Oklahoma State can come down to Texas instead of me having to go all the way up there. It's a 5.5 hour drive, depending on how many times I have to stop and go to the bathroom. Hey, I'll be 50 next year. I'm just being honest. But it is a long trip to go all the way to Stillwater. This Saturday when I'm Friday night, when I drive up there, it's 3.5 hours most to get to someplace within the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. So we'll see. I've got good content coming for the channel. Speaking of the channel, I do want to thank everybody who does subscribe. Thank you so much for being a part of Cowboy Country. As long as you're wearing orange and black, you're welcome here. Heck, if you're a fan of another team in college football, you're welcome here. Because I try to be as respectful as I possibly can to all teams in college football. I'm not really a big fan of West Virginia, for example, but I saw Texas versus West Virginia in person, and I know West Virginia isn't doing as well as the fans would like them to be doing, but I'll tell you this, those guys never gave up, and they fought back in the second half, and I was impressed. They do need to beef up their offensive and defensive lines. But the other position players, I thought they put up a good fight against Texas. So I try to be respectful of other teams, even OU. I'll be respectful of them. Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to say. Really, really quickly. Now is not the time. I know OU fans can be annoying sometimes. But I hope that as an Oklahoma State fan and alum, I try to be classy whenever possible. I try to model my behavior like the Nebraska fans that I used to see. Man, I wish they were still in the Big 12. But I try to be classy. We don't need to, insult people or insult their team. I think it would be a huge mistake for them to get rid of Venables. At least let him finish the year. So anyway, if you are new to the channel, please hit like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching. So I hope you have a great day. Bye.